Hey y'all, McFast here. I'm going to bring you my next installment on my road to speed. As you can see now, I have my surface plate dead level. If I zoom out, I'll show you what I did. Let me zoom down in there. Now I had this piece of aluminum laying around. I was going to build motor mounts out of it, rear motor mounts, and ended up not going that direction. So I've had this around for probably 10-12 years, so I brought it back to life. But as you can see, I just drilled a hole and threaded it for a 1/4 20 bolt, and that's all that is 1/4 20 bolt. I got those at all four corners, so you can adjust it until your surface plate is level. That way, whenever you're taking your measurements, or in my case, I have a set of scales. So when I put my chassis on a set of scales, I know that the scales, the weight's not being skewed because of the angle that they're placed at. They don't have levelers on each individual scale like you do on a full-size car. However, this will be as good as we can do for what we're doing, unless you want to jump up and pay over $1,000 for a set of RC scales. Longacre Racing and Intercomp Racing both makes a set for RC cars. I think those are geared mainly towards the quarter cell QSAC cars that has full steel roll cages, and they're about well, just shy of 5 feet long. They're about 58 inches long. And anyway, to carry on, I'll bring you down in here and show you our next steps that we're going to follow. I've been accumulating my parts as we've gone along, and I started out with 1968 or 69 Camaro ready to run. These were the original wheels that come on it. It still has the factory pack that came with it. It's a NiCad 7.4 volt, or excuse me, a NiMi 7.4 volt, and I will put these wheels back on it, raise the body post back up, put the 69 Camaro body back on it, and I'm going to use that as my baseline. That would probably, for professionals, be called a control measurement, but for me, I just call it my baseline, like I did my big cars. Whenever I have something that I start out with, I keep that information recorded, and each step along the way you see if it was a positive or a negative, either in speed or handling. Also, I've got a lot of the slop taken out of the steering by using shims in this location right there. Let me see if I can zoom in and get you a tighter shot. You can't really tell it, but right underneath the E-clip, there's a post right there, you know, that threads up to the bottom. This is a Sprint Sport, and the shaft itself is not large enough in diameter to take out the wobble. So what I did was, the thinnest item that I could put around there and still get the ball bearing on was a piece of aluminum foil, which was 10/1000ths. So that meant that the hole, or the bearing, was either 20/1000ths too large, or the post was 20/1000ths too small. Either way, it doesn't matter. I've got the problem corrected. The force on it is shear force. It's not moving up and down vertically on the shaft, so I don't have to worry about the aluminum foil eventually wearing out, because the inner race does not spin, only the outer race does. Now, let me zoom back out here. I do have some clay left in it. However slight it may be, it's still there. Now what that is the bell crank, is what I call the center link right there. Now I'm going to correct that. I ordered in, sorry for bumping the camera there, I ordered in some longer turnbuckles, which is actually used for the camber links up on top. And I'm going to replace that center link with these turnbuckles and some RPM heavy duty rod ends, and that'll take care of that slop. Also, this front wheel will move in and out. I've got more shims I ordered to where I can get proper spacing on that axle and stop that shimming it. There's also some play up and down in the C-hub. You can't see it right now, but that's the C-hub area I'm talking about right there. I'm going to try to take some of the slop out. I ordered a new set of what they call a flange pipe, and see what I can't do to fix that, just to experiment with. Also, the stock gearing that's in there ain't even specified for the motor that's in it. Why HPI sent it with the wrong spur gear and pinion for the motor, who knows. But from Robinson Racing I got the right combination, a 28 tooth and a 93 tooth that is specified for a 15 turn motor to give it a 7 overall gear ratio. I know that's not going to work for top speed, but again, this is what my control is going to be that I will build upon from there. Also, all this stuff's been slowly rolling in. I'm on disability, so I don't have a lot of money to play with, so this is going to literally be like driving across the country for me. But I did get me a data logger GPS in the Quantum. I can't afford to go the more expensive route with a Garmin 4Runner, and I'm going to mount that right here where the receiver box used to be. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to build a plate. I got some 040 aluminum that I'm going to use. I'm going to punch holes in it like what you see here. Those are clean holes that you can't get with a drill bit. That's what this is for. I made washers with this thing also because it does very little distortion to the material as well. Of course, that depends on the thickness and the quality, you know, and what type of grade the material is. And then we'll be set. I can go out, take my first run, then I'm going to turn right around, put a LiPo battery in it, do my next run, turn right around, put the correct gearing in it for the motor, do another run, all with the 69 Camaro body on it. And then that will be my baseline. Now I will have a control that I can go back and reference on the next changes going forward. My next plan changes is a body. I've decided on one, but I'm going to leave that for now. The body is here. The first one was damaged, just like Tin Man or Dan P. I don't remember which one it was, but they had ordered a Corvette body and it got smashed, and that same thing happened to mine. That was the worst looking body I'd seen. It looked like it was 100 million years old, the way it was all dusty and you couldn't hardly see through it. It was basically white. And the new body that came in, all the mode lines are crisp and sharp, so it looks like it's a later production off of a fresh mold anyway. So and then I'll put that body that I finally decide on there, and then that will be my next control, and I'll just keep going up, and then I'll be able to go back and measure. Now after that body part, the thing I'm going to do is the bearings and the diffs are factory, just like they came from the factory greased. I'm going to take the bearings all out, soak them in some lacquer thinner or acetone, something to degrease it. And then I'm going to use a product called Slip 2000. That's an oil that's really good for guns. It's made by an ex-Marine. He also makes a grease called TW25 Bravo. I use that on all my firearms as well. It's used on the Apache gimbal. It's also used on satellites because it'll go to minus 365 degrees, I believe it is, before it starts stiffening. Or it's still, it hasn't stiffened at that temperature. And so it's got great properties to be used in an RC application, and I'm considering using it in the diffs, but we'll see how that all plays out. Right now, it's all just going to be a waiting game. We've had either rain or high heat, and a lot of the roads are ponded over, so finding a location that I'm going to be able to run on is it's not very probable at the current time, but it'll take me a while. It won't take much time to knock out the GPS tray. I've got a sheet metal brake and a bead roller so I can strengthen that up even more, but I don't feel that it'll need it. That's 40 thousandths and a small part. Oops, sorry about that. It's designed for the GPS. That's going to be pretty stiff when you cut it out. And I'll use a pair of air shears, or excuse me, electric shears to do that. They give you a nice clean edge, just like you took it to the sheet metal shop and had them put it in a shear and cut it either by foot actuation or pneumatics. And of course, with the shears, it's hard, electric hand shears, it's hard to get a straight cut, but you can do it like you do with plywood or whatever else. Put your straight edge down there, run one side of the feet, as you will, up against the straight edge, and then you'll cut a straight line. And so for now, this is McFast Racing, and we're out here.